what cavity is this up here?
Thoracic.
Great, that's the thoracic cavity. So the first thing we'll look at is, what is this organ? Yeah, that's the heart, and then what are these guys? Yeah, we've got lungs. And then you need to be able to recognize the superior vena cava. Vena means vein. So typically, not all the time, but typically they'll be blue. So if we look, my probe under there. Sorry, I have my hands on anyway. This guy, that's our superior vena cava, means above the heart. The inferior vena cava just means below the heart. So this blue one right here, below the heart, is inferior vena cava. The aorta is going to be red in color. So the aorta is this guy right here. Okay? And then the trachea, if we push all this kind of out of the way, the trachea, you feel it with your probe, it feels ribbed. That's because you have little rings of cartilage that hold your airway open. So that's the trachea. Okay? What's this guy right here? Yeah, that's your diaphragm. And then what's, yep, liver. And then we can actually see next to the liver, yep, is our stomach. And what I've done is opened the stomach up so we can see the food. This cat ate very well. That's kitty food in there.
I can't see that. That's sorry. I'm just going to lean over and take a peek. So that's when my heart on my goes.
So I always, yes. So I always cut open the stomach because a lot of times if they're strays, you'll find worms in the stomach. Let's see. Next to the stomach, I remember this because the two S's are always on the same side. Stomach, and then the spleen, which is sort of the same color as the liver. Yeah, stomach and spleen. Okay. Now the pancreas, a lot of people always ask about. If you find the stomach and spleen, the pancreas is on the opposite side of the intestine. What you're going to do is lift up on the other side.
That's the right side?
Yes. And you see this like piece of meat right in here? That is the pancreas.
I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't know.
Now normally, if you look between the intestines, see how it's real clear? That's called mesentery. But see here, it's not clear. It actually looks like a piece of flattened steak. That's the pancreas.
I'm sorry. Where's the teeth?
Now that we're here, what is this guy back here? It's on the back, surrounded with a lot of fat. It looks like a bean. Kidney. And we also have one on the other side. If we pick up all of her organs, we can see that right there. Okay. Now all of these are all the small intestines. Okay. To find the large intestine, I think it's easiest to work backwards. So you're going to lift all this up, start at the bottom, and that's your large intestine. Yeah.
With the color be at the bottom.
Yeah, that's your color.
Yeah, and just remember, worms is the small intestine.
Worms. This is the greater omentum. Yep, that's that layer of fat. And then we also have the bladder, which looks like a little bag. That's the bladder, urinary bladder. And then again, that's down in the pelvic cavity. And the only other thing I think that you need to know is the uterus. And now we'll look at the other cat over there on the video so you can see that. But the uterus of a non-pregnant cat, here's one side. Here's the other side.
Yeah, because it's like clamps and stuff.
Yeah, it's very, very small. So when you're not pregnant, the uterus is really tiny. But when you are pregnant, the uterus gets huge. And I think that's all. Let's go over here so you can video the pregnant cat. Okay? You can keep